Hey now, welcome to episode 2 of Junk Whisperer. Today we are heading to the wrecking yard. We won't be filming much of that because they don't like to film in the junkyard. We are in our newest project / daily driver, which has not yet been announced on the channel. We'll see that in a couple of episodes. Now, today our goal is to defunkify our old daily driver that we've had for about 2 years on and off as our main daily driver. It's been rear-ended. I just threw a odd colored trunk lid on there and continued driving it. My goal today is to get a color matched trunk lid back on it, maybe clean it up a little bit, get it back on the road looking 100% and make it ready to sell. Okay, so here we are today. Our goal is to work on this 1999 Subaru Legacy that has been in our fleet for about 5 years, on and off. I've sold it a couple of times and it keeps coming back. Unfortunately, it was rear-ended recently, and as you can see, it's got a different color trunk lid. We're going to fix that today. We're going to clean it up. We might do a couple of other things today just to make it look a little bit nicer so that we can get ready to sell it and move it out of our daily driver fleet and get ready to move into our new car, which we'll announce at a later date. So the first things first, to get started with this, we're going to go ahead and pop this trunk. We're going to take this trunk lid off, and it's had a broken key forever, so we're going to go ahead and get that replaced as well today. We got a few things to do to make this look good again. We're probably not even going to do that. Probably just going to get the trunk lid on here and let the next owner detail it. Alright, to get started, I should probably have the tools out, which are on here, apparently. Hang on. Oh no, I'm so disorganized. They were right here this entire time. I love this Craftsman set. It's got everything that you could ever need, and I'll show you a little bit more about it. It's great for portability. Okay, I said I was going to show you a little bit more of this tool set. I got it for $100 at my local Napa, and quality-wise, the ratchets could use a little bit of love, but overall, I think the capability of this tool set, the only thing it's really missing is pliers and screwdrivers, but it has, this is the Allen wrench, and then back here it's got a screwdriver with a bunch of different bits, and then wrenches and 1/2 inch here. So it's pretty good, and it has just about everything you need to be a mobile mechanic. This one, we're going to do step 1, which is remove this bit here, and it looks like it's just some clips that will pop on, off, and there we go. That comes undone. I think my trunk lid that I have doesn't have the same harness, so we're going to probably have to swap harnesses. Oh, maybe it does have the same harness, so that would be nice. I do know that my harness has a different spoiler on it, so that might not work as well. So your next step is to take 12 millimeters and get these cleaned up. Now, I was going to just use a regular ratchet because noise, but I'm going to do this real quick like and get my air gun on it. Or impact, not air gun. This has been one of my favorite investments that I've had as a mobile mechanic. It really changed my life on the side of the road. And it's a 3/8 battery operated ratchet. Obviously, everyone's going to know that this has had some body work done to it, but it's going to look good. It's going to look better than it does now. Now, make sure you secure this because you don't want it going through your back window or anything. It looks as though this trunk that I had put on here temporarily so that I could close it actually had some damage, which could be why it didn't close right. So I may not have to do these hinges after all, but I'm going to do them just to be on the safe side because I know I beat on them a little bit to make the trunk close. So that is out, and if I was a little bit more patient today, I would probably go ahead and clean all this out, but I'm not really in a good spot for cleaning. Okay, quick hack time. This light has a little bit of water built up in there, well, a lot of water. So because I'm a cheap bastard and I don't want to buy a new light, I'm going to take a really small drill bit. I'm going to drill a couple of small holes down here to let the water out. That's new. Battery go dead? Alright, so one of the problems that I have, or one of the problems that you have to come up with is, ew, there's goo in here. Definitely going to have to wipe down this interior for sure. Well, I've run into my first problem so far on this project is I don't know how this back panel comes apart to take the hinges off. And I really don't want to screw it up. So I'm going to work on this a little bit. Let's see if I can make it happen. From this angle, I'm hoping that you can. Looks like I have to tear the entire seat out to get the rear shelf out in order to pull the hinges. So that's what I'm going to start with. And that's going to be 2 bolts down here. Ooh, that's a camera. I got to really get these strings taken off of these cameras if I'm going to use them regularly. There are 2 bolts right here, and there's another one right over there. And we're going to pull those out today, and we're going to pull the seat out, and then we're going to pull the back out, hopefully, and get this trunk hinge replaced. Alright, well, apparently one of the things that I found is there's some scummy stuff in here, like some soap or something that got spilled on the rear seat, or I'm not sure what it is, to be honest with you. Doesn't have any flavor. I pulled a car wizard here, but I don't know. We'll have to see from what we're going. But anyway, we got a bolt here and a bolt here, and we're gonna see what that takes us, or how that takes us from getting this pulled apart. Thanks. I thought I saw some. Oh, what the heck? What the heck kind of design is that? I guess it's not under here. But I definitely have this trunk thing that I have to deal with. What a headache. Because I want to replace this hinge. Oh yeah, this has got a different hinge assembly too. That hinge looks different. This isn't good. The junkyard car I got has a different hinge assembly. So I might not be able to use those hinges, which is probably okay. Yeah, because that looks quite a bit different. Out I go. Oh, hey. Oh, ow. Oh, there goes. Well, there's one thing solved. I fixed the light cover. All right. All right, very quickly I was able to get this seat out. It was 3 bolts, one there, one there, one there, and then you lift up the seat off of these hoists here, and the seat comes apart, which was super easy. Then the rear deck lid is just a couple of clips, and it pops right out and slides out. And then we have 2 bolts here for the hinges and 2 bolts there for the hinges. So that should allow us to put new hinges in. Wow, these speakers are actually really nice. No wonder it sounded so good in here. So this should be fun. Hey everybody, watch the screen. Ow! Oh, they painted the nuts up here. Can't get that loose pretty easy. Either that or my 12 is so tight that... God, it would be nice to have a ratcheting wrench right about now. one bolt undone. Alright. Whose bright idea was this? Actually, the car that I pulled out of the wrecking yard, the trunk lid, the back window was busted, so that made life a hell of a lot easier back here. Obviously, I've got to still do a lot of work on this car to make it sellable. And ultimately, I have a feeling that this is going to be going to a family member, because that's where a lot of my cars end up going. Because I buy a lot of cars from the auction, and I don't like selling total title vehicles to, just a stranger out there. This car I bought, and I bought it at auction in 2016, end of 2016, beginning of 2017, and needed a fender. Needed a fender and a strut, and I put it back on the road and drove it, used it as a delivery vehicle for Amazon, which I was doing at the time, and really enjoyed it. And then I sold it to my brother-in-law, and from there it went through motor, and I traded him a Beamer that I had acquired for this, which actually turned out to be kind of a bunk trade for him. But I think I've made it up because I've gone over there and helped with quite a few other little projects and stuff. But man, I really need to put my ratcheting wrenches in my travel bag. I would have been done with this by now. It just dawned on me, I'm going to have a hell of a time putting the new hinges on. Oh, there it is. They came out. All right, now let's go ahead and unplug that. There we go. So I'm only replacing these because the hood wouldn't shut properly, so I'm assuming they were tweaked a bit here in the bend. So we're going to try putting different hinges on and seeing if that allows the trunk to close a little bit better. Alright, now, so this is going to be interesting because I'm only one man. I'm not 100% sure how well this is going to work out. up. This goes in there. And then this guy goes up. Hey! That actually went in a little bit easier than I expected it to. Let me get some bolts in before I talk too much. I got the hinges in place temporarily, and we'll adjust them as we need be, so they will go up and down. And as you can see, they still have some play in them. I've left them loose so I can mount everything appropriately. Up and on place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back where it was on the last vehicle. Got to tighten. And you can do that by trying to line up your witness marks as much as possible. Did put a little bit of a ding here. I might be able to pop that out, or I might just leave it. And apparently, if you want to do this right, you've got to leave stuff loose, because it's not going to work the first time through every time. There we go. Now, this should be a trial fit. Nope. That's not good. I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. Okay, so I've got the new trunk lid on. It's now color matched. It still doesn't close quite right. It's not 100%. I'm going to have to massage the rear wall a little bit to make it close a little bit more reliably. I still have to copy or move over the harness and the spoiler, because this spoiler is trash. I'm going to maybe fix this little dent right here, but I now have an opening and closing trunk, although it does currently require a little bit of massaging to get it to close. So it's better than it was. It's still not great, but and I'll show you why it's not great. We'll bring the camera over here. I need to get a second camera for this, but you can see that there is quite a gap right there where things just aren't quite right, and I don't have the body expertise to get it right. So we'll just live with it the way it is, I think. Well, this is not something that I expected. This trunk lid did not have a factory spoiler on it. I didn't realize that the spoiler that was on it was aftermarket. So they're just holes drilled into the trunk lid. And that means that there's a hole over here that doesn't line up and has a grommet for a wire harness. Well, the harness on the factory one is on this side. So what I have to do is I have to drill a hole so I can put the factory spoiler in place. How much fun is that? And I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm not going to, at this point, I'm just going to call it good. Oh no! All my little ones are stuck. Oh well. I don't need, there we go. Looks like my 5/64 is the problem there. But what we're going to do, I think, we're going to start with a 7/32 here. And we are going to drill a hole. All right. Have to make that a little bit bigger, but that's basically what we're going to do, and we're going to do that a couple of times until we get a hole that will fit the harness through it. Oh, it's going to need to be a big hole. We're going to have to seriously step that one up. All right, I'll see you back when I'm done with this. All right, and as we start to run out of daylight here today, the lesson I've learned today is never expect anything to go quite as well as I planned. This trunk lid is a little bit different. It doesn't quite fit, and it doesn't close as reliably as the old one. Now, I probably have to massage it a little bit to make it work a little bit better, and that'll all come. So we'll see what happens next and go from there.